Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am your host, episode 2. Sitting next to the man during a meeting, Maleev wondered what it must have been like being married to an impenitent thief. Or maybe he had no idea. But how could he not have known? People didn't live with people for years without knowing what they were like. And according to his sources, this man had been secretly married to the legendary jewel thief known as Katanga for 2 years. His colleague had no idea Maleev knew his secret, or at least the detective hoped so. Maleev did not know the man too well. They had exchanged a few pleasantries in passing, but nothing much else. And Maleev had not consulted the man on any of his cases. Basically, he was a stranger to the detective, which meant there would be lots of juicy details to ferret out. Throughout the meeting, Maleev had studied the man surreptitiously, looking for some clue as to his general demeanor and character. Could detectives spy on other detectives within the department? Maleev had no idea. He never really bothered himself with such minutiae. He was sure he could though. How else could a corrupt official be investigated and brought down? And hadn't his boss implied the same thing when she had joked about the detectives investigating his mysterious appearance at the meeting? Anyone who could offer some clue as to who Katanga was, her habits, and way of thinking would be someone to know, or study quietly. Maleev had exchanged niceties with Katanga's alleged ex-husband at the meeting. People would have been shocked to discover how excited Maleev had been to meet a second person who had been close, or at least closely related to the nefarious Katanga. The detective had been so excited he had almost blurted out, "Where's Katanga?" The old principal had not been able to provide much information. He had definitely held some things back from the investigators. Maleev did not doubt that for a second. However, the detective correctly guessed that overall, the principal did not know much about the current whereabouts of his errant daughter. Maleev had a feeling there wasn't much love lost between the two. Odd though, that both father and daughter had somehow found themselves on the wrong side of the law. Maybe criminal behavior ran in the family. Where had they met? The detective and Katanga? And what kinds of things could they have had in common? These were critical questions Maleev had to know. To get to Katanga, I need to know how you think. The detective was almost desperate to pick his colleagues' lives apart. Had it been some kind of sham marriage? Even Maleev's superlative sources had not been able to figure that out. From what he had pieced together so far, the cat was a jewel thief who actually loved the shiny stuff. She always worked alone. However, she was rumored to have pulled off a few of her biggest heists for a rich financier or financiers who lived abroad. One of her clients was rumored to be an international criminal who lived on the open ocean. According to reports, this person had lived aboard a luxury yacht somewhere on the Mediterranean for decades. Setting foot on dry land anywhere for miles around would result in immediate arrest. What a genius, Maleev thought. As long as he was on a certain part of the ocean sea, the criminal was untouchable. And so the diehard had decided to make the open waters his home. What a life. Felons, especially the hardened, most elusive ones, had to be the best event planners in the universe. The tactical and strategic prowess it took to keep several steps ahead of everyone in pursuit took nothing less than exceptional high brain power. And the eternal irony was that such felons almost always seemed to nurture an unhealthy bent for the criminal element within any endeavor. The old principal claimed he had last seen his daughter 2 months before the law had finally caught up with him. That was 6 months ago. According to him, Katanga had a way of just showing up, unannounced and clearly uninvited. Did she have a key to his house? The principal had laughed. A dry, bitter laugh. You of all people should know, detective. The woman you call Katanga has never needed something as useless as a key. 6 months ago, the cat had been in a general vicinity, or at least she had popped in for a visit. Where she was now was anyone's guess. But Maleev maybe had a good idea where to start looking. The source had indicated Katanga had possibly been preparing to travel a few months ago. There was no clear destination. However, there was a possibility she might have been headed somewhere on the Mediterranean coast. Katanga had eluded capture for so long for good reason. She had honed her pilfering skills to a very fine art. As embarrassing as it was for Maleev or any other law enforcement to admit it, that was the truth. And the kind of skills the cat had in her repertoire were not the kind one picked up in a backyard game of pick the lock. According to what he had gleaned so far, the cat had a mentor of sorts. This master thief has apparently trained Katanga in the ways of the ninth ninja. Maleev had given her the moniker in frustration after one too many near misses. Whenever the spirit struck her, the cat would leave a picture after a particularly audacious heist, a calling card of sorts. It was always of a woman clad in a black catsuit, wearing a black mask with a very glittery diamond tiara perched on top of it. The bare-faced insolence of it was galling to Maleev in a very personal way. The jangling noise pierced his frustration. Maleev looked around, narrowing his gaze on the culprit. He picked up the ancient receiver. At this point, he would welcome almost any kind of interruption. He badly needed a break. End of episode 2. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.